Howdy folks, it's Scanner here. In this video we're going to be asking a very simple question. Is Myth and Goal worthy of a hype train? So for those who don't even know what it is, Myth and Goal is an upcoming fantasy sports ball game along the lines of your Blood Bowls, Dread Balls and Gill Balls, I guess. It's set in a fantasy realm with dwarves, orcs, humans, elves, all that kind of stuff. The game itself is going to be produced by Blacklist Games and will be designed by Needy Cat, that is to say James M. Hewitt and Sophie Williams. People might be aware, especially now, of James M. Hewitt, as he recently made some waves by talking about the designer pay scales at Games Workshop where he used to work. He also designed Blitz Bowl for Games Workshop, which is a more streamlined version, if you would, of Blood Bowl. So, is this game worthy of a hype train? At the moment, all I can do is go through the information I've been able to find, and I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because that would just be repeating other people's videos. I'm going to leave a link in the description to a on tabletop video and a Dice Breakers article that you can read if you want to earn a lot more. But me personally, this is why I feel this could be a very good game. First of all, the designers. James M. Hewitt obviously knows what he's doing, and Needy Cat have some chops, so that's a good thing. Secondly, the starter set seems to be very generous. In the starter set, there's going to be 4 teams of 16 players, and the sets are designed to work in either Myth and Goal or to act as proxies in other game systems such as Blood Bowl. So that's pretty dope. I like that a lot. It tells me that the people who are actually designing this game and putting it together want to give you some value for money, which is great. The game itself is designed to be less granular than Blood Bowl, kind of more in line with Blitz Bowl. It's supposed to be easier to learn, and it's supposed to have a more managerial scope. Not just about the tactics of what you're doing in the moment, but the overall management of your team is apparently supposed to matter quite a bit. So once again, that sounds really cool to me. You're not going to be restricted to your races. If you want to, you can make a team. There'll be like some kind of penalty involved. I'm not entirely sure of any details there, but you'll be able to mix up your races. Like if you want a particularly fast runner on your dwarven team, you might bring in an elf to get that done. So I'm assuming the starter sets are going to be the ones featured in the artwork of it. It'll be orcs, humans, elves and dwarves. So that sounds really cool to me. There's also going to be an AI-driven single-player mode, which is great news for people who maybe struggle to get people to actually play games with them, which is, I think, an important market to look after, and I'm always glad when it is supported. There's also going to be an awful lot of support for campaigns and tournaments in the game too, which is just lovely. So overall, there's going to be 6 different classes. There's going to be chargers, the kind of strong tacklers of your teams, the strikers, the skilled throwers of your teams, the vanguards who use speed and agility to burn their way down the pitch. There's going to be sentinels. They're just like kind of all-rounders. You can have them anywhere, doing anything, covering in a pinch. Your guardians, they will be defending your own end of the pitch. And then rangers, who specialize in running the ball or getting it back from the other team, which is always a good thing to do when you're me and you bone up your dice rolls. So it's hard to find any. What really interests me, I will be honest, in stuff like this, especially if it is generous that you're putting in 4 teams, but that also means that what you're paying for is 4 different groups of sculpts, and I'm really interested to see some detail on the sculpts, which are kind of hard to find at the moment. You can find little bits of promo materials out there, but not a huge amount. Where the game gets interesting for me are these elements called focus cards. So focus cards give you essentially a team-wide tactic, and that tactic might, jive really well with the nature of your team, or it might help to compensate for a weakness. Like you might be able to pick something that makes your dwarves a little bit faster, overcoming their natural slowness. And that's what really makes it interesting to me. The fact that you can never quite know what your opponent is bringing to the table, because all they need to do to change up how their team plays is change their focus. And I think that's incredibly interesting. But overall, do I think Myth and Gold is worthy of a hype train? Yes, I do. I think design-wise, it's got the pedigree. I think in the starter set, if they're going to have their 4 teams in there, it shows generosity and hopefully value for money. And I just think overall, Blood Bowl kind of sets a tone here. So hear me out. I know Games Workshop didn't always support Blood Bowl as well as they should have, but at the moment, Blood Bowl is a very good game price-wise for people to be able to jump into. You can just pick up a team for like 20 sterling or whatever it is, €25 here, and I'm assuming a similar number of dollary dues over in the States. And I think that's a good thing. I think keeping the pricing around Blood Bowl sensible is a great thing to do. And I think that kind of sets the tone for what competitors need to do as well. Granted, Steamforged Games mildly lost the run of themselves with Guild Ball, but not everybody needs to do that. I think lessons will be learned from other failures within the market, such as Steamforged Games' inability to keep Guild Ball alive, and can be learned from. So one of the things that Blacklist Games have mentioned with regards to the potential future of Myth and Goal are something like special characters that you can, individual characters basically, that you can buy for one of the factions of the teams, or you can just buy and work into your own factions if you want. And I think that shows an interesting long term for the game. And I think that's what you want when you buy into this kind of stuff. You want to know that there's a long-term plan ahead. Even if that long-term plan is just in potentia, you want to know that people are thinking about it for that long. So do I think people have a right to look at Myth and Goal and feel like, yeah, this could be good? Yes, I do. I think it could be good. I was literally about to rebuy into a huge amount of Blood Bowl, and then I saw this and I was like, I'm going to hold off and I'm going to see how this plays out. So Myth and Goal will be arriving on Kickstarter on September 21st, and ideally we will learn a lot more about it at the time. Me personally, I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see if I back it, and when the Kickstarter goes live, I will probably do a video saying if I think it is worth backing or not. We'll just have to wait and see further details as people make them available. So yeah, that's it guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you want to do us a favor, you may consider liking and subscribing. You can also leave a comment down below to feed the old algo and help out the channel. It's free and it helps me. So that's it. Have a great weekend guys, and thank you so much for watching.